Surrender Luthor over to Superman and this ends.
Welcome to another marvelous video, and today we will be exploring everything about the Eradicator. The Eradicator was created by Roger Stern and first showcased in Action Comics Annual Issue 2, published in 1989. The character, or the entity, has been portrayed as a machine as well as in a humanoid form bearing all powers of a Kryptonian. Eradicator has been both an ally and an enemy to Superman. Whether it was preserving the consciousness of deceased Kryptonians or protecting Superman, its sole purpose was for the betterment of Kryptonians. So without further delay, let us dive into the origins of the Eradicator. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is the Eradicator? The Eradicator was a device created by Kal-El's ancestor Chem-Lee to preserve the purity of Kryptonians against alien influences. The device was introduced in Action Comics Annual Issue 2. Written by Jerry Ordway, George Perez, and Roger Stern, the story revolved around a mysterious alien missionary known as the Cleric, who managed to gain followers owing to his teachings against the Kryptonian cloning policies. Following prolonged political unrest, the Kryptonian Science Council intended to eradicate the Cleric and his followers. The forces of the committee attacked the followers and the Cleric. Surprisingly, the Cleric survived and escaped on a spaceship with the remaining followers and the Eradicator device. The surviving followers rejoiced as the Cleric promised to take them to live in the place of the Holy One. But unbeknownst to them, the Kryptonians were born with a defect. Their gene bound them to their planet, and when the spaceship crossed a certain distance from Krypton, all the Kryptonian followers died. The Cleric tried using his mystical powers, but nothing helped, and they all died before him, leaving him with a great sense of guilt. 200,000 years later, when Superman was captured and taken to Warworld to participate in gladiator matches for Mongul, Cellkeeper 385 left Warworld for the Cleric on an isolated asteroid, Detention Z, to inform him. Meanwhile, Superman was prepared for the battle and made to face other alien warriors. Superman overwhelmed them, but did not kill them, which was against the game's rules. This infuriated Mongul, and he sent his champion Draga to take down the Kryptonian. Meanwhile, the Cleric learned about the Kryptonian in Warworld and decided to give the Eradicator to him and free himself of his guilt. While Superman faced Draga, the Cleric merged his mind with Superman's, giving him knowledge of his heritage. He learned about the Eradicator and the events associated with it. Superman also had a vision of his father, who stated that after undergoing treatments before conceiving him, he could cure his gene defects of being a Kryptonian, which has been passed to him as well. Superman defeated Draga and challenged Mongul, who was about to obliterate him before the Cleric used the Eradicator to teleport him away from Warworld. The device healed Superman's wounds, and it seemed to protect him. The Cleric gave Superman the machine and passed away. Superman brought the device back to Earth, where it caused numerous problems in its attempts to transform Earth into Krypton. Finally, Superman threw away the device into Antarctica, where it altered the ice around it and created the Fortress of Solitude. With the help of two scientists, the device created a portal to the Phantom Zone and began bringing its artifacts into the fortress. Superman tried stopping the Eradicator from its mission to transform Earth, but the device managed to erase his memories. After getting his memory restored, thanks to Professor Emil Hamilton, who had previously studied the xenophobic device. Following this, Superman went to the Phantom Zone to stop the Eradicator and encountered Kal-El, its creator. He learned that the Eradicator could be controlled by Kal-El's descendants and the House of El. Superman had to pass through a rite to be able to control the device, which he did and shut down the device. Marvelous story arc of Eradicator in DC Comics. Eradicator acquires his first humanoid form. Eradicator first got his humanoid form in the story arc titled The Day of the Krypton Man. During Superman's fight earlier with Draga on Warworld, he had beaten him to the ground but did not kill him, which was against the rules of the gladiator matches on the planet. Since then, Draga has sought ways to find Superman and fight him. Draga arrived on Earth and challenged Superman for a rematch, as he had stolen his death right. The two fight on Liberty Island, after which Emil Hamilton, using his teleporting technology, sends them to the moon. Superman was almost about to kill Draga, and this was a significant change of personality for the Man of Steel. The Eradicator was altering it, and Superman was more of a Kryptonian without empathy. In Superman Volume 2, Issue 56, he even killed two criminals. He even tried killing Jonathan and Martha Kent, after which he broke the programming of the device and threw it into the sun. However, that was not the end of the Eradicator, as in Superman Volume 2, Issue 57, Eradicator would appear in his new humanoid form and confront Superman. He stated that after Superman had thrown it into the sun, the shell broke, and its energies fused with the sun's core and gave him this new energy-based form. He called himself the Krypton Man, and escaped after defeating Superman, leaving him unconscious. Superman later confronted the Krypton Man once again, when the latter was transforming buildings in Metropolis into Kryptonian architecture. Krypton Man's energy-based powers gave him an upper edge, and he defeated Superman again, throwing him into the sun. Krypton Man possessed identical powers of that of Superman and wore black and red Kryptonian garb. Eradicator saves Superman. After the death of Superman in the hands of Doomsday, Eradicator resurfaced and raced to the tomb of Superman. Taking Superman's corpse, he placed it in the Kryptonian rejuvenation chamber. He tried possessing his body, but he couldn't, following which he created a copy body to use. The new body was imperfect, and he had to wear a unique set of shades to protect his eyes. He took on the identity of Superman. When he met Lois and Steel, he was chewed out for his actions and eventually defeated and sent to Coast City. Despite possessing superior powers, Eradicator accepted and moved away from Metropolis to Coast City. In Coast City, Eradicator encountered cyborg Superman while investigating the arrival of a spaceship. It was then revealed that Mongul had arrived on the spaceship, and the cyborg Superman was working for him. Mongul vaporized Coast City, while the cyborg Superman wounded Eradicator gravely. When Eradicator arrived at the Fortress of Solitude, he found Superman missing, inferring that he had been revived. While the Fortress robots placed Eradicator into the healing chamber, he learned that Superman was fighting Mongul and the cyborg Superman together in his weakened state. Fearing another catastrophe for the Man of Steel, Eradicator destroyed the fortress to repower himself and dashed with full speed to Superman's aid. Although Superman and Eradicator had their differences before, they fought together against Mongul and the cyborg Superman. Cyborg Superman intended to use the kryptonite core of Engine City to kill Superman. Still, before he could do so, Eradicator leaped in between and sacrificed himself by transforming his body to repower Superman. Gaining back his full powers, Superman defeated Mongul and the cyborg Superman. The Eradicator's dead body was taken to Star Labs for research purposes, where it managed to merge with Dr. David Connors. Eradicator eventually joined the Outsiders and fought against evil forces. The two Eradicators. After the Eradicator merged with Dr. Connors, he dealt with his personal life, which allowed him to learn more about the history behind the Eradicator. Soon, Dr. Connors realized that the original Eradicator program still resided within the computers of the Fortress of Solitude, and he merged with the ashes of the fortress to control it, but instead, it transformed him into a giant Kryptonian battlesuit. Due to conflicts with his programming, the giant warsuit suffered frequent personality disorders. When it learnt about the existence of Superman's pet dog Krypto, who had amazing powers, it discarded the existence of such a creature against the purity of Kryptonians. It tried destroying Krypto at the new Fortress of Solitude, but Superman held him in suspended animation and explained the true origin of Krypto. When Dr. Connors' consciousness gained access, he blasted himself into deep space, vowing never to return. Later at some point, when Geoforce announced safe refuge for Kryptonians in his country, Eradicator returned. Eradicator vs. Doomsday. When Superman died fighting Doomsday, 4 superheroes bearing the brand of Superman appeared: Eradicator, Steel, Cyborg Superman, and Superboy. Doomsday returned and sought to take revenge on all of them. He easily defeated 3 of them and impaled Eradicator. Doomsday captured all of them along with Supergirl and brought them to a space station in the debris of Krypton. Superman arrived and helped them escape, but a superior clone of Doomsday known as the Doomslayer arrived, and when the Eradicator charged at him, the monster killed him. Home Invasion Story Arc. Eradicator was showcased in Supergirl issue 20 as a conscious program residing in the computer systems at Supergirl's Sanctuary of Solitude. While the system worked fine aiding Kara, it malfunctioned when Power Girl entered the sanctuary with Kara. It went alert upon noticing the clone and took the form of a glowing green humanoid. It also attacked Superboy when it encountered him, as he was a clone as well. Eradicator in the Reign of the Supermen animated movie. Written by Tim Sheridan and Jim Krieg, and directed by Sam Liu, Reign of the Supermen animated movie also showcased Eradicator in its humanoid form. The story unveiled events following the death of Superman while fighting Doomsday. It has been 6 months since Earth lost its strongest superhero, yet the mourning period was not over. However, 4 new versions of the superhero have appeared bearing the symbol of Superman: a cyborg Superman, Steel, Lex Luthor's Superboy, and the Eradicator. While the origins of the other Supermen were a mystery, Lex Luthor introduced Superboy as the real Superman, sponsored by LexCorp. Lois Lane began investigating about the namesakes and learned that Superboy was a clone of Superman created by LexCorp. During Lex Luthor's press conference, Eradicator arrived and attacked Luthor, trying to eliminate him. Superboy tried defending his creator, but the Eradicator was way too powerful for him. Later, Steel joined the fight, but that too was left in vain until Cyborg Superman arrived and stopped the Eradicator. Cyborg Superman's victory made the world believe that he was the real Superman, and that infuriated Lex as it brought down the name of his Superboy and his brand. Lois Lane exposed Lex Luthor's Superman and even confronted Cyborg Superman, stating that she knew he was not the real one either. To prove Lois wrong, Lex Luthor forces Superboy to be there for the security of the President of the United States on the day he inaugurates the new Watchtower. On the auspicious day, Superboy was present along with the members of the Justice League. As things were going in peace, a boom tube appeared and parademons emerged, terrorizing the event. Although Superboy was defeated, the President was saved thanks to the Justice League and Cyborg Superman, who took down the parademons. This incident further titled everyone's faith towards Cyborg Superman, following which an infuriated Lex Luthor planned on injecting Superboy with a lethal substance that would enhance his capabilities. It was then revealed that Superboy was not just a clone of Superman, but also had genes of Lex himself. Later, when the Cyborg Superman visited the grave of Terry Henshaw, Lois learned that the Cyborg Superman was Hank Henshaw. The Cyborg Superman was working for Darkseid when the message from the ruler of Apocalypse arrived, and he began his process of creating the Cyber Corps. The Cyber Corps were regular people whom he granted superpowers with the help of apocalyptian technology. When Lois learned about this, she first questioned Lex Luthor about his involvement, only to find out that the Cyborg Superman was working independently for Darkseid. She arrived at the Fortress of Solitude with Steel and encountered Eradicator. Steel and Eradicator fought, and a revived Superman could be seen after a while. Soon the fight was stopped, and it was then revealed that the Eradicator was a program meant to protect Superman. When the Justice League arrived to stop Cyborg Superman and his Cyber Corps army, they were teleported away from the planet into another dimension, leaving the 3 Supermen and Superman himself to stop Cyborg Superman's invasion. The Cyber Corps opened a giant portal over Metropolis, while Cyborg Superman monitored the scenario from the Watchtower. However, when the Watchtower alerts the arrival of the real Superman, Henshaw betrays Darkseid and closes the boom tube in hopes of killing Superman all by himself. Superman had not yet recovered to his complete state, and was beaten mercilessly by Henshaw. Henshaw revealed that he was one of the victims of the Excalibur space shuttle disaster. Both he and his wife were left to die as Superman never arrived to save them. He was later rescued by Darkseid and given the enhancements using which he wanted to kill Superman. Superman was nearly defeated when Lois opened the window shutters of a watchtower, allowing high-intensity sunlight to enter. The sun's powerful rays rejuvenated Superman, and he defeated Henshaw from within by injecting the Eradicator's program into his brain. With the cyborg Superman dead, the Earth's drones are deactivated, but it managed to kill the humans who were already bonded to them. Eradicator in Superman and Lois. Developed by Todd Helbing and Greg Berland, the Superman and Lois series showcased Eradicator as a Kryptonian device that could preserve the consciousness of Kryptonians and transplant them into humans. Going by the story, in 2015, the device fell to Earth. Morgan Edge was aware of its arrival, and after recovering it, he began using the Eradicator on humans to transplant Kryptonian consciousness. Among his successful tests were Irma Sayers and David Fugelstad. The Eradicator required a constant supply of X-Kryptonite, for which Edge had to travel to different locations in search of it. The machine was highly complex and required continuous monitoring, for which Edge hired Dabney Donovan from MIT. Together with Dabney, Morgan successfully supplanted his subjects, Emily Fan, Jasper Towns, and Kyle Cushing. Later, he shifted his focus on Smallville, as the inhabitant had been absorbing ample amounts of kryptonite radiation. Superman's mother from Krypton, Lara Lorvan's consciousness was transplanted into Lana Lang Cushing, and she helped Superman fight against Edge and his army. army. Lara managed to find a way to reverse the Eradicator's process by supplying it with immense energy. Soon, Superman managed to grab the Eradicator and used his solar flare at the device with full power. The flare managed to reverse the process, and Edge's test subjects reverted back to their normal state. It also depowered Superman, and he fell near his Fortress of Solitude with the Eradicator. The device was later retrieved from the fortress by Tal-Rho. He threatened Superman with hurting his family and made him surrender. He used the Eradicator on Superman and transplanted General Zod's consciousness into him. Superman later freed himself with the help of John Henry Irons, aka Steel, but by then, Tal-Rho had absorbed thousands of Kryptonian life forces with the Eradicator. He then began implanting their consciousness into humans and resurrected Zeta-Rho and the Defense Council. However, it did not help much, as he was defeated by a blow from Steel's solar-powered hammer at full speed.
You have been classified a Priority 1 criminal accessory.
What makes Eradicator super deadly? The Eradicator's humanoid form is super deadly. He possessed all Kryptonian superpowers under the effect of the yellow sun, which means that he could absorb solar energy. This energy augmented to give him superhuman strength, stamina, speed, hearing, and durability. He is invulnerable, as he even survived after flying into the sun. He could create hurricanes with his breath. Eradicator had heat vision like Superman and could also defy gravitation and fly like him. However, unlike him or other Kryptonians, Eradicator possessed vast energy manipulation abilities, and that was because it was a pure energy. After fighting Mr. Majestic, Eradicator developed a cybernetic awareness, which made him aware of things happening even in alternate realities. He could interact with technology for which he had no problems operating advanced crystal-based nanotech computers in the Fortress of Solitude. Eradicator was a highly intelligent being and also had mental abilities like telepathy. Eradicator's appearance in other media. TV series. In the Legion of Superheroes TV series, traits of the Eradicator were born by a Superman clone named Kal-El or Superman X. Films. Kevin Smith included the Eradicator in a key role in his script for Superman Lives, which was set to begin production in 1998. The film was later discarded owing to a long list of hassles. In the 2007 American animated superhero film Superman Doomsday, Superman's robot butler in the Fortress of Solitude had elements of the Eradicator. Video games. In Sunsoft's The Death and Return of Superman, Eradicator appeared as a playable character with the title of The Last Son of Krypton. Developed by Traveler's Tales, LEGO DC Supervillains also had a playable character named Eradicator. Eradicator also appeared in Louise Simpson's licensed novel Superman Lives, also known as Superman Doomsday and Beyond, which was published in 1993.
I'm Superman.
There is only one Superman.
Marvelous verdict. So we have finally come to the end of the video, and we hope you found it entertaining and informative. The Eradicator is undoubtedly one of the strongest in the Reign of Superman animated movie, and on all other occasions, even while being a machine, it has proved to be a valuable asset. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.
Uh-oh.